food drive sponsored by Neighborhood Services and at Sam's Wholesale, the October 26th, 27th, and 28th. What you do is they'll give you a list of food to as you go in to shop, and you pick some of the items up and hand it to them when you come out. And we've put out a lot of food over the last few years, have we not, Mike? About 200 baskets, something like that. So there is a need from our community, and if you can participate, that would be greatly appreciated. Trick or Treat City is October 27th, and by the way, Midwest City does observe Halloween or Trick or Treat Night on the 31st of this year, so be cognizant of that. And then the Susan B. Komen Race for the Cure is October 20th in downtown Oklahoma City. So if you are a survivor or know a survivor of cancer, it would any donation in the name of a survivor or a victim would be greatly appreciated. And Espy, our Ward 3 Councilwoman, is a big participant in that as well. With that being said, are there any more community announcements? As you can see, the horseshoe's a little light tonight, so the agenda should go pretty quickly tonight. So we'll move into our consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so that the council, by unanimous consent, can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any item proposed does not meet with the approval of all the council or members of the audience who wish to discuss an item, it will be removed and heard in regular order.
Mayor, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as written.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Move into discussion items of our agenda.
First item is PC 1965, discussion consideration of one, amending ordinance number 3347 pertaining to the rezoning from R6 single-family detached residential to SPUD, simplified plan unit development, to correct an error in the legal description of the property being rezoned, which is described as Block 5, Lot 6 of the Pine Addition and addressed as 220 East Kitty Hawk. Mr. Harless?
Thank you, Mr. Henson. Yes, just as described, this is just a Scrivener's error change from Block 6, Lot 5 to Block 5, Lot 6. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second.
This is a public hearing. We need to at least.
I'm sorry. It didn't say that on the.
Okay.
This
sorry. Yeah.
We need someone to move to amend the wording of section 7 to remove.
Okay, we do need a motion to amend the ordinance to delete the emergency clause.
Okay, restating the motion to amend.
I would say I would recommend approval and deletion of the emergency clause.
Okay. Make a motion to approve and recommend deletion of the emergency clause. Do we need to do that on each of these emergency clauses?
Yes.
I second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, on the emergency clause, what that is that if passed, it would take effect immediately. We do not have a sufficient number of council persons on the dais to support an emergency, so that has been deleted, just for your own information. Second discussion item.
This is PC 1977, public hearing with discussion consideration of approval of a resolution for a special use permit to allow the use of community recreation general in the R6 single-family residential zoning district for the property described as a part of the southeast quarter of Section 2, Township 11 North, Range 2 West, located at 711 South Douglas Boulevard. Mr. Harless?
Yes, sir. This is, with the change in the liquor laws that we've heard so much about, this will allow the golf course to sell alcohol as permitted in their permit. And you can see from the overhead that this is Conrad Golf Course. So Planning Commission and staff recommend approval.
This is a public hearing. Does anyone in the audience have anything to say about this particular item? Seeing or hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion.
This has the emergency clause in it?
No, sir.
No.
Motion to approve.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Next item.
This is PC 1978, public hearing with discussion consideration of approval of a resolution for a special use permit to allow the use of community recreation general in the R6 single-family residential zoning district for the property described as a part of the northeast quarter of Section 34, Township 12 North, Range 2 West, located at 3210 Bel Air Drive. Mr. Harless?
This is very similar to the previous item for Hidden Creek Golf Course, and it just brings us into compliance with state law and allows the golf course to serve alcohol.
Once again, this is a public hearing. Does anyone in the audience have anything to say about this particular discussion item? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Next item.
This is PC 1979, discussion consideration of one, approving an ordinance amending Appendix A zoning regulations of the Midwest City Code by amending Section 4.4.19 communication services, towers and antennas, and providing for repealer and severability and setting an effective date. Mr. Harless?
Yes, sir. On November 1st, 2018, the Oklahoma Small Wireless Facilities Deployment Act will go into effect for the state. And what that allows us to do is have on review in private residential areas for the use of these small antennas for the new G5 service that's going in across the country. As you're aware, the state's given us a very small amount of leeway for enacting of things on ordinances. This is one of them that we should take advantage of. Should it go on private property, this would give surrounding property owners and the city a chance to notify people that these type of antennas would be coming in. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval.
We will need a motion to exclude the emergency.
While excluding it as emergency.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Next item.
This is PC 1980, discussion consideration of an ordinance amending Appendix A zoning regulations of the Midwest City Code by amending Section 4.4.21 convenience sales and personal services, Section 4.5 industrial use unit classification regulations, Section 4.92 use chart, and Section 8.3 words and terms defined and providing for repealer and severability and setting an effective date. And we will need to change the title or delete the emergency provision on this as well, so.
So we need to vote, change the title? What are we changing the title?
It's titled emergency ordinance, we just need to amend it, deleting the words emergency ordinance, and and deleting section 7, which declares an emergency.
Before I do want to commend staff on a job well done. I did this upstairs, but you guys weren't upstairs. Staff has taken this since May, June. They've looked into this. 60+% of people in Midwest City voted for this, 57 statewide. Not everybody's in favor of this, but what the staff did was they took the will of the voters, they followed 788 without putting their own biases into it. Unlike other cities, we haven't put any restrictions that are going to get us sued. We have done a clean ordinance, and I'm very proud of Billy's staff, our new city attorney. Congratulations, by the way, and I'm sorry at the same time, Heather. But our staff did a wonderful job, and it's stuff like this that needs to be told about, and so everybody can see what a great staff we have. Thanks, guys.
My pleasure.
Billy, would you like to kind of give a general overview of the approach here?
Sure. First of all, we feel like we've met all the requirements of the state law, the 1,000-foot radius around public and private schools, and also included the definitions from the state law within our ordinances. Is what we did was we took the approach of, if this is going to be a medical marijuana ordinance and dispensaries, we took the approach that they would be similar as pharmacies. We allowed them, or suggest that we put them in as special use in for dispensaries in Office 1 and Office 2, and by right in C1, C2, C3, and C4. We took a similar approach with the grow and process. By growing marijuana in areas that would be similar as greenhouses and not row crops. They would be allowed in C4, I1, I2, and I3, and then the processing, due to the processing that may involve chemicals and other processes that we're not super familiar with, they'd be allowed in I1, I2, and I3. So that opens up a lot of area within the community for these different uses and in the appropriate land use areas. We have maps down here that are available for people. 3 different maps that show where these areas will be permitted by right and by use. There's been a lot of questions just because there's so many questions and rumors going on around on the street about this. I'll take this opportunity to talk about how we're going to address it in the building codes. The things that the industry brings into, let's say, the processing of these or the growing, they all have to meet UL listings. Or there's cut sheets that describe how these a dryer will be used, whether it's natural gas or whether it's some other type of heating element. They all come with very specifics about how they have to be installed. I've asked our staff to follow those recommendations, whether it's in a private house or whether it's in industrial use or whether it's the grow lights. There will be only so many lights allowed on a circuit, and we will follow those in our building permit and inspection process. So it'll all be safe and legal, and safety is the main issue here. I'll be glad to answer any questions on that, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Harless. Now, Ms. City Attorney, since there's no verbiage in the current agenda item declaring an emergency, do we have, the only mention of an emergency is in the actual title of the ordinance?
So basically, as we said, motion to pass, removing the emergency portion of the ordinance and removing section 7. Okay, so we just strike emergency in the ordinance. Okay. Make a motion to pass on page 1 of the ordinance, strike emergency from that deadline, and strike section 7, declare this an emergency.
I have a properly formatted motion. I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Looks like the motion carries. Next item.
Next item is discussion consideration of approving Phase 1, 2, and 3 of the 2018 general obligation bond proposals approved by the voters of the Midwest City on August 28, 2018. Attached is a proposal which provides for 3 phases on the implementation of the 2018 bond issue, sets out what projects will be funded based upon a series of 3 bond issues over the next 2 years, and puts a dollar amount associated with each of those projects, which ties back to the bond issue as it was approved. Staff would recommend approval.
Any further discussion? Ladies and gentlemen, we passed a $53 million general bond proposal a couple months ago. This is a huge deal for our community. It's going to help us grow and get into the future. It's going to take us 25 years down the road, and if you did vote to pass it, thank you so much. I want to thank this council for enduring the hours of discussions and putting all this together and helping us get this passed, and also the staff that has put in a tremendous amount of work. Again, this is not to coin anybody's phrase, but a huge deal, and it's going to be a great deal for our community. So with that being said, Chair would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is discussion consideration of appointing a replacement to the Plumbing, Gas, and Mechanical Board to assume Keith Mikeman's unfinished term, as well as an additional 3-year term. Staff would recommend this item be continued so that we could bring back a nomination.
Chair would entertain a motion to continue.
You can take no action, and it'll just come back whenever we've got a name for you.
Okay, therefore we'll take no action on item 7. Next item.
This is consideration and approve a resolution joining in and approving a resolution to be considered by the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority on October 9th, 2018, resolution of October 9, 2018, authorizing and approving 1, a joint resolution with the Midwest City Chamber of Commerce, trustor of the authority, amending the trust indenture of the authority. 2, a memorandum of understanding with the Board of Grantors created by the trust indenture. 3, payment of the attorney fees of the trustor. And 4, authorizing the chairman and the general manager to take actions in furtherance thereof, and approval of a second amendment to the amended and restated trust indenture of the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority as provided for by the resolution of October 9, 2018, second amendment, as beneficiary of the authority, with the mayor authorized to execute the second amendment for and on behalf of the city.
We've had a considerable amount of discussion on this particular item, so therefore, if there's no discussion, Chair would entertain a motion. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we move into the new business public discussion of our agenda. Does anyone of the public have anything to bring before the council? Hearing none? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. That's all right.
My name is Mark Clemenson, and I am a resident of Choctaw, but I plan on starting a business, a cannabis testing business. And I was wondering how a laboratory would be zoned, a chemical testing laboratory. Is this new business?
It is new business public discussion. I would suggest that you contact our community development department, sir, and we just passed some zoning ordinances, so contact them, and we
Contact
can and they can answer your questions.
Okay, because,
Let me tell you why we can't, it's not that we don't want to, state law says because it's not on the agenda within 72 hours, we can't speak to the question. It's a weird quirk, it makes us look like we're not very nice and friendly.
I understand. I mean, we were just like considering a property here, and we don't want to sign a lease and then find out that the city will not allow you to set up a laboratory in a
understand.
commercial property.
And
So, like-
again, contact Mr. Harless tomorrow, and he can walk you through the wickets.
Okay,
I'm out tomorrow, so that's Kelly's number, and you can call her. So-
okay, call Kelly tomorrow. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks for being here, sir. Anyone have anything else to bring before the council? Hearing none, we are hereby adjourned. I now call to order the Midwest City Municipal Authority. We do have a consent agenda. And the chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve this consent agenda as is written.
We had a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? We move into the new business public discussion of the Midwest City Memorial, or Midwest City Municipal Authority. Does anyone have anything to bring before the municipal authority? Hearing none, we are hereby adjourned. I call to order the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority. We do have a consent agenda, and the chair would entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve the consent agenda as it is written.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Move into our discussion items. Number 1, there's no action needed, and go to number 2.
This is consider and approve a resolution authorizing and approving, 1, a joint resolution with the Midwest City Chamber of Commerce, trustor of the authority, amending the trust indenture of the authority. 2, a memorandum of understanding with the Board of Grantors created by the trust indenture and payment of fees of the trustor. And 4, authorizing the chairman and general manager to take actions in furtherance thereof.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Chair to entertain a motion. I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we move into new business public discussion of the.
Wait a minute. We have an item 3, which will not be necessary. And then we also had a executive session, which will not be necessary. So now we can go in the hospital, into the new business.
Okay. I didn't get that memo. We move into new business public discussion of the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority. Does anyone have anything to bring before the authority? Seeing or hearing none, we are hereby adjourned. And I call to order the Midwest City Economic Development Commission. We do have a consent agenda on this, and the chair would entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve consent agenda as written.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We now move into our new business public discussion of the Economic Development Commission. Does anyone have anything to bring before the commission? Hearing or seeing none, we are hereby adjourned. And I think we set a record tonight. I don't, no. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. We are done. Thank you.